What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and we're essentially lab rats when it comes to the economy. And I'm gonna prove that to you here. This is Yorkshire Ripple who posted this video, and shout out to XRP Darren for having this in one of his videos. And listen to what they say.
And the answer is that biologists at least have the decency to test on mice and rats first. So I think that the extent to which we allow ourselves to be tested on, and again, not a conspiracy. I've met many Fed officials; they're very smart people, but they are engaged in an unenviable endeavor, which is trying to predict the way the economy will grow and the way people's behaviors will change, all that sort of thing. So to the extent that we allow that sort of thing to take place, of course, there's going to have an impact on the economy and on growth, on efficiency, our production capacity, and all that, all of which has implications for taxation and for the strength of the dollar and ultimately for our national security.
And that last thing he said, the strength of the dollar, taxation, and let's see, the strength of and the economy, and so that's and national security. So cyber attacks, he could. That's probably something he's talking about, and some of the consequences are beginning to show. Okay, and one of those is food. World food prices jump in August to near decade high. Here it says central banks and the mainstream media continue to peddle the notion that soaring food inflation is temporary and the average Joe and Jane should not worry about it. But a new report via the Rome-based FAO, global food prices are on the rise once again and back to near decade highs. The FAO released a statement Thursday that detailed after two consecutive months of declines, world food prices in August jumped due to solid gains in sugar, vegetable oils, and cereals. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. We see I made a video about these trucks blocking the entrance to the Canadian border. Well, where are all the supplies going to go? They're stuck in the trucks. How are people going to get the supplies? So these stores, if they don't have those supplies and there's a huge demand for it, the price is going to jump up. And it's these kinds of things. If that's why I'm telling you, we're headed towards a very serious crisis. And there was a video, an interview with Mike Maloney. If you guys haven't checked his channel out, please do. He has very insightful information. Now, he was saying that he was quoting, I forget the name of the guy, but he said there is 9 meals between civilized society and an all-out chaotic protest and civil war, or just any kind of like war. And what essentially he was saying is that the supply chain usually takes about 3 days, hence the 9 meals uh, usage there, before people start noticing that there isn't any food. Okay? And that's a very scary thought. And so, right now, like you heard, that central banker, he said biologists are a lot nicer than us because they at least experiment on like rats and stuff and animals. But we central bankers experiment on the human. Here, let me play it again so you can hear it again.
And the answer is that biologists at least have the decency to test on mice and rats first. So I think that the extent to which we allow ourselves to be tested on, and again, not a conspiracy. I've met many Fed officials; they're very smart people, but they are engaged in an unenviable endeavor, which is trying to predict the way the economy will grow and the way.
Okay. And so we are the guinea pigs for their economy, and they make no bones about it. And these are some of the consequences. And usually it's known that, based on a statistic in an interview with Mike Maloney, he said that when the cost of food reaches about a 40% of a person's income, that's when you see an all out protest by civilians. And so if these food prices keep going up and up and up and up, people will have no other choice other than to spend for food, because that's what you need to survive. That's what you need to live. And the whole point. Nothing else matters if you can't have food to keep on surviving, because that is the essence of your life. You need food and water. Without that, those are the basic necessities. Nothing else matters at the end of the day if you don't have those basic necessities. And that's why I think it's important for me to point out this information. I made it a point of emphasis to present this, aside from, obviously investment material and videos, because this actually affects every single one of us. We can invest all we want, but at the end of the day, if we're not aware of what's happening in the economy, with especially with food prices and stuff like that, the consequences of what these central bankers are doing, then it doesn't matter how much we're invested. Because at the end of the day, you can't eat XRP, you can't eat a coin. You see what I'm saying here? That's what I'm trying to point out. Like, yeah, it might be funny, but it's in reality, it's the truth. We laugh now, but we'll cry later if we don't have food and we're not prepared. That's why my what I want to do is present this information so you guys can be prepared, and not be left, you know, out there to suffer and wish someone would have told you something. And so that's why I'm presenting this information. I want you guys to go ahead, if you like this video, share it with someone you care about. Let them know. Be aware of the situation. Um, and that's what it's all about. It's about helping each other out and being united on these issues. Because united we stand, but divided we fall. Okay? So I hope this episode has brought you some value and has brought you some awareness. Please like and subscribe. Get this video out to people. Let them become aware. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.